I ain't never had nobody do me like you. Now I done been with different kind of girls, but like I done seen them all, but ain't none of them at all like you. And I done seen the best of the best, baby, still I ain't impressed, cause ain't none of them at all like you. And you know how I feel when I chill, if I'm seen with a girl, then she gotta be just like you. And baby, that's the way I feel, and I got no choice but for me to keep it real. Cause when we first got together, started hanging out, you was skeptical at first, had to figure out if I was the kind of guy that try to dog you out, but I ain't that kind of guy you try to make me out. You found out when you turned to my baby.
Hey love bugs, welcome back to my channel. So today we're about to hop into this frontal action right now. So this is one of my first wigs that I'm claiming because the other one didn't come out so well, but I'm gonna hop into these DEETS and we're gonna hop into this video on how I constructed this unit. Y'all, I took my precious time. I took all weekend and I took a couple weekdays to perfect this. So right now I have 20, 22, 24 with an 18-inch 13 by 4 frontal. So I will put that down here. I know that was a mouthful. I want to show you guys how I construct this wig and I will get back to you guys right after, so let's get started. Alright guys, let's jump into the basics. So you are going to need any type of foil. This is just the foil I use for cooking on a daily basis. I'm going to use a plastic knife, my BW2, this is just from Clairol. It's honestly the easiest one I can find. Of course, gloves, a mixing bowl, something to mix your formula in, and some bundles. And then you see my developer in the back that I'm going to show you soon. Right here, I'm going to show you one of the bundles I received from Yiroo hair. This is actually the frontal, so if you can see in the front, I'll definitely show you up close. The frontal is very thick, but I'm going to bleach the knots, so we're going to start with that first. So my first step, I'm going to get my BW2 lightening powder, and I already messed up in the beginning, guys. Please, please, please put on gloves. I noticed this right after I put my first scoop, but I'm going to add 2 scoops at first, and this is just to make sure I don't overdo anything. And now I'm going to take my 40 volume developer, and you see I'm using the brush that came with it, but I will be switching soon, because honestly it took way too long to stir and it's much easier when you're actually using a plastic utensil. I don't recommend stirring with an actual metal because chemicals do react, so let's not do that. Okay, so as you see what I'm doing here, I'm just adding it to get the right consistency. I want it to be very milky, very smooth, but still thick, because you don't want this to slip through the knots and then begin to bleach your roots. And then next thing you know, you have black hair with blonde roots, and unless that's what the look you're going for, you want to make sure that it's thick enough but still extremely smooth. So as you can see here, I'm stirring, 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 and now I'm going to lay this onto the frontal. So you can see it's a pretty thick consistency, and do not press hard into the lace, because I promise you, once you lay it down, it's already going to start reacting on its own. So you just want to take a little bit of product. There's definitely no need to put this all over the lace, especially when the lace is going to be cut, but you want to go as far back as you can. So like I said, you want to go back as far as you can, because when you part your hair, you're still going to be able to see those knots. So right now, I'm just putting foil on so we can kind of process a little bit faster, because I was like, I don't want to be up all night. However, don't leave this on too long. I recommend starting with 15 minutes, and if you need extra time after that, that's totally up to you. Alright guys, time is up. So now I am about to rinse this off. It's been a total of 15 minutes, and now I'm just checking to see if the knots have actually been bleached. What I will say is some of the knots were about halfway done, some of them were still like processing. So after this, what I'm going to do is rinse the hair. As you can see, I'm starting to rinse off the bleach, and honestly, once you start this process, once the hair is actually wet, it should not be processing anymore. So I'm going in with my Shimmer Lights shampoo, and this shampoo is actually great. As you can see, it's purple, and it tones down the brassiness in the hair and on the lace. It removes the dull yellow and gray hair and leaves the hair
at least a tad bit shinier, because sometimes when you bleach your hair, it can definitely get damaged. So you want to make sure that you leave this on for a few minutes. Honestly, I know it's just shampoo, but I had left it on for maybe about like 3 to 5 minutes, and now I'm going to start brushing out the product. Here I am now showing you all up close. As you can see, you don't see too many black knots. The hair is not like yellowish, because that's not really the goal I'm looking for right now. And then on top of that, most of the knots have been bleached and it is starting to look flawless. So I'm going in with some As I Am Hydration Elation, and this is actually just a conditioner I use on my natural hair. And I was like, I can't find anything else, but I still wanted to condition the hair. So I'm just taking a little bit of this product and rubbing it through the knots, through the lace, and also through the hair, because I wanted the hair to be exceptionally smooth right when I rinse it. So I let that sit for a bit, and I'm showing you guys the 3 bundles here. Now I am rinsing this conditioner out of the hair. Please make sure all of the conditioner is rinsed out. I'm gonna use this Paul Mitchell shampoo. I love this shampoo, not only on like this hair, but my natural hair. And I won't be using the Shimmer Lights because that's really for blonde and grayish hair. So this is why I'm using my Paul Mitchell right now. And I always like to wash my bundles because I'm like, I don't know where the hair came from, whose head it was on, where it's been, what chemicals were in the bag. So before I actually put this on my head, I'm like, let me actually go on and wash this hair. So now you will need some wig T-pins. This is where the games begin. So I'm going to start plucking first. So as you can see, I have me a wig head. I purchased this from Amazon. This is the size of my head, 22 inches, and that is also the standard head size. However, I'm going to take a comb and I'm going to brush some of the hairs back just so it doesn't get stuck in the T-pins. And I'm going to take about 3 T-pins and pin the lace down so that way the hair is not moving while I'm trying to pluck the lace. Alright, ladies and gents, what I'm going to do right here, I'm wetting down the frontal. This is definitely by preference. I know some people like to wet it and some people don't because they say, you know, I can't tell how much I'm plucking, but I'm always on the safe side when I'm plucking just to make sure I'm not over plucking. This just makes it so much easier for my tweezers to hook onto the hair, for me to separate the hair, because any type of hair has the ability to get frizzy. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to take a small piece out of the front. I'm sectioning the hair, and it will help you tremendously to pin the hair back with a clip. So right now, you see I'm just taking all of the hair out from the front, and then I'm going to start the plucking process. Alright guys, let's get into it. So even though I have fast forwarded this part, I am showing you all, I'm plucking towards the front, and you see once you run your fingers through, you will get an excess amount of hair, so don't be scared. And now I'm plucking towards the back, so it's kind of like a part the hair, pluck forwards, pluck backwards, part the hair again, just so you're getting an even amount of plucking throughout the unit. Also remember, do not pluck in the same space. I have made this mistake before. If you pluck in the same space, it's essentially what would happen to your regular hair. You're gonna have a bald spot. And none of us want a bald spot. So I'm showing you how much hair I have gotten. And you can see this side already. I keep wetting the hair because I don't like to pluck frizzy hair. It's just not a preference. And this unit already was actually fairly plucked, but I'm gonna pluck it a little bit more. As you can see, I'm attempting baby hairs, and I would say cut longer, not shorter. Cut it shorter later once the unit is actually on your head, because you don't want any accidental, oh crap, like I've cut it too short. I never want that to happen. So I'm taking my mousse and I'm just making some in place baby hairs so I can see what my unit is looking like, and girl, ooh, I'm digging it. Plucking is a very tedious process. Honestly, it took me about an hour and a half just to make sure everything was perfect. As I made my second unit, it definitely took me a shorter time. But now what I'm going to do, you're going to place the unit a little in front of the actual wig cap. And then on the side, you're going to line up the 2 strips on the side, and that is where you are going to sew the hair in place. So right now I'm taking a T-pin and I'm putting that on the back. And don't worry about the front, it's going to make an M shape, and that's how it definitely should look. I'm going to braid the frontal right now so it's not in my way whatsoever. And now let's start sewing. So you do not have to be an expert sewer to make a wig, I promise you. I really do. I'm going to show you up close. All I'm doing, it's no fancy swivels. I am putting the needle through the hair and pulling that needle right through. And then I'm basically replicating this process all throughout the unit. So this is mainly for the frontal. I'm literally just sewing from right to left and making sure that that unit stays in place. Okay, so now I'm sewing on the first bundle. I will be double wefting, so I have looped it the wefts on top of each other because single wefting is amazing. However, I do feel like I can fit 3 bundles on this unit when I actually double weft, whereas if I did use single bundles, I could make it work. However, it might be a little struggle for me. So as you can see, I don't have any type of set pattern going on here. And I'm actually looping over, and this is just for the bottom row. You can also loop under, which I know many people find easier, but to each its own. Find whatever works for you, which is what I always say when making these units. So what I'm going to do here is this part can get a little tricky, but you don't want it to be bulky on the sides. So I'm going to loop over one more time and then pin that next bundle right on top and then repeat the process. Make sure to cut it. So as you can see, I am in the middle of the head because I'm like, it literally took me about 2 days to sew this wig. So I was like, I'm literally doing the same steps, and I sewed so close to each other, which this is how you should do it, but you don't have to, especially because it's time consuming. But if you are making a unit for someone else, you do want it to be as neat as possible. So as you can see now, I'm looping under, and I'm pulling it right through. Loop under, pull it through, loop under, pull it through. And of course, do not make the mistake if you do have a foam wig head. My first unit I made on a foam wig head, and I tried to take the unit off when I was done, and I had sewn the unit down to the head, and I was so distraught. I literally just, I think I had cut the cap up because I was like, this is not gonna work. But what I'm doing here is I'm tying knots. I've tied like 6 knots in the same spot. And I just want to make sure that it is secured, like secured. It is not going anywhere. So now I'm adding that next bundle on, and we're going to repeat the same steps. Okay, now that we are getting closer to the top, what I like to do, I am not doing the double weft method anymore. I am now cutting the lace right when I get to like the top of the head or like the crown part, and I'm just doing the same process over. I do this so that the hair can be much flatter on top, especially since I will be rocking this as a straight wig unit. I'm repeating this again, and I'm showing you all up close. I have cut the hair to fit the desired portion, and I'm sewing this right on top of the other one. I fast forwarded, guys, because like I said, it took me so long to make this unit and to make it to my taste, and now I am trying to fit this in a video that's under 20 minutes. So bear with me, guys, please. Now that we are at the last part, I'm showing you that I'm cutting that weft again. And now I'm going to place this right in the middle of the last weft and the actual frontal closure. So I'm going to be tying these two kind of together, like completing the puzzle piece, and just making sure that that part is completely flat, because you are going to be brushing some of that hair back. However, you do want this part to be like flawless, because you don't want any type of wefts sticking out through the hair. Okay guys, that part is done. So now you see this black part that is beneath your frontal. You want to cut that off, but please be careful not to cut the actual knot. Once you get through that thick band, for the most part, it's fairly simple because the hair will start almost cutting itself on its own. So I'm going to cut this entire piece out from my cap, and then after that, we're going to start straightening the hair. Okay guys, so I also got this flat iron from Amazon, and what I will say, I am looking for a better flat iron, especially now that I will be straightening thick hair bundles. However, it did the job. I just had to take smaller pieces. So I love the flat iron, especially on my natural hair and to get smaller jobs done. However, I did find it. I wanted it goes up to about 410 degrees. And it was piping hot. However, I was like, why is this not getting bone straight? Like, what do I need to do? So I am investing in another flat iron. However, this one did the job as long as I took smaller sections. The key to getting bone straight hair is take baby pieces, y'all. Take them baby pieces.
Alright guys, so you guys saw step by step how I constructed this unit. If you want to know, so I didn't add this in there because I was like, Lord, please let this turn out right, and I didn't want to film this. But if you want to know how I cut my lace and how I'm actually trying to melt my lace, there's this picture on Instagram. I'll insert it here. I'll give the girl creds, whatever, but what did she do? That. Like, she killed it. Literally, like, I'm so used to like wearing my natural now because I just dyed my hair, but I was like, I need some inches ASAP. No Rocky. So y'all, I'm really still learning on how to melt my lace. However, for my first time, I don't think I did a bad job. And what I will say, like, I'm usually a baby. I like to order wigs and not make them myself. However, I have never in my life had a wig fit this perfectly. Like, I got me a 22-inch, which is like the standard head on Amazon. And at first I was like, 22 inches. So what I did, I actually got like a ruler, and I just measured my head, and it was actually 22 inches going straight around. And I know some people do 21, 23s, even 24s, but I would definitely say if you were trying to get a wig that fits your head perfectly, get you a wig head from Amazon. I'll add all of those items down below because honestly I'm an Amazon fiend. I got my flat iron from Amazon. I showed you guys how I flat ironed it. I even got the scissors from Amazon. Like, why? I ordered scissors from Amazon. However, the yarn and the needle I did get from my local beauty supply store, Eden's Beauty. Shout out to y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video and if you like my other content, feel free, and I hope you do, subscribe to Amber Simone. Love you. Peace.